Um, I'm Elizabeth's eldest son, but my brother Ben is there. Emeka is wearing the nice red shirt. My sister Chinya is there, and my wife Patricia is there, and my two children Usita and Chinedu are in the back. My mom is quite well known. It's very strange to be better known in another person's country than in your own country. So my mom isn't very well known in New Zealand, but if I say the name Isiche anywhere I am in Nigeria, everybody asks me, are you related to Elizabeth? And many people don't realize she's white. So it's a complication. And I told Negi Bonyocha. How come Negi Bonyocha? Divine, open when you get what we can ask. Okay, open can ask about signing. If I don't get lunch, and I'll be in my get on your charm. He got shut up on you. Magin on your child, people going to live. In agony. I never want to Asaba. Never want to Asaba. Since you go Pitao, it's an agony. Unafubia. Upanya na eba imande banyi na atu na asi na agadi nwanye kalanka gine tie obono sika nsoba na atu agadi nwanye kalanka edosie na aju akọ we no anya obia ogbanna anya obro believe kono metata masilo na so obro believe kono metata anya kene ono niile nugo dawo so she used to drive, so there are younger people who are here. There are younger people here. My mom used to drive from Enugu to Soka on her own. There are very few people as well that leave during a civil war to go back home. They went home. My mom and dad went home in 1971, 72. Once the Civil War finished. So to give you some context, that's like you planning now to leave New Zealand and go back to Afghanistan or to go back to it doesn't make sense. So I think that it really means a lot to her. It means a lot to all of us today that you guys have supported us like this. Family, we just want to thank you. Go. That was all. I appreciate.
Wow, that's lovely. Imagine this. An elderly man walks onto the stage. He looks completely white, but he's dressed in an African attire. And people are already curious. Then he picks up the microphone and begins to speak deep fluent Igbo. Not broken Igbo, not forced, but fluent Igbo. And the entire place goes, you know how they feel there? Because this was not what anyone expected. Welcome to Igbo Area TV. Today's story is not just surprising, it is something that challenges what many people still believe. For years, people have said, if an Igbo man marries a white woman, he will forget home. The culture will be lost. The children will not know where they belong. The white woman will, make sure he doesn't come to Nigeria. But what happened here tells a completely different story. This was a gathering filled with family, elders, and community members. And right there on the stage was an elderly white woman, respected, known by many. You know that woman, not until this video, you have seen that woman. She's popular in Igbo land. She's a white woman. Now, beside her, the person you saw was her son, a fully grown man, already in his later years. Is looking completely white. But that moment he started speaking, everything changed. He switched between English and Igbo like, deeply rooted in the culture. And you notice his Igbo, something about his Igbo, very clear. He's confident speaking it, and it's natural. He doesn't struggle. And could you imagine? People began to look at each other in disbelief. People are like, wow. Because what they were hearing did not match the way they were seeing. They were expecting something else. And here is the truth. This man is the son of, like we said, that Igbo lady, Igbo man from Azua. I don't know whether his father is still alive. And the white woman, yes, the same kind of marriage many people still question today. Some believe once a man marries outside, especially white people, especially Igbo, that is the end. He will forget his people. But our people are doing this en masse and they are coming home. We are seeing a lot of marriages, Igbo and white. Look at the moment. Not only did the son speak Igbo fluently, even the mother herself is known to speak Igbo fluently. Not for show, not for cameras, but a way of life, as a way of life. And the man shares something even deeper. He spoke about how his parents returned to Nigeria after the Nigerian Civil War. Think about that. After everything that happened, they still came back. They chose to be part of the land, to live in it, to raise their family in it. That is not a man who forgot home, like many people will say. I know when he married that woman, like his son said, they were like, onye ifukwe no ofugo. That is the man who held onto it tightly. So maybe the question is not who did he marry. Maybe the real question is, what kind of family did they build? Because culture is not about skin color. Culture is about what you teach, what you practice, what you expect. This man did not just learn Igbo, he lived Igbo. He lived like an Igbo man. He carried it. And today he stood before people as a proof. And that moment was more than a speech. It was a statement. A quiet but, powerful answer to years of doubt. That identity is not by appearance. That culture does not disappear unless you let it. And sometimes, the people we least expect, they carry it the strongest. So my viewers, what we do here is to serve Igbo here. What do you think? Has this story changed how you see things? Or do you still believe culture gets lost in such marriages? Drop your thoughts in the comment and like, share and subscribe to Igbo Area TV, because here we bring you stories that make you think. Stories about Igbo, or that has a mention of Igbo, or that happened around Igbo. Note, this content is for cultural discussion and public storytelling. It does not promote or criticize any personal choices or group.